Okay, so there's a question on your graphing linear equations quiz, question number 13. And the question says, Iman makes 15% commission. Now this number will change when you take the quiz. On every pair of shoes she sells. Each pair of shoes costs $90. Again, this number will change. How many pairs of shoes would she need to sell in order to make $175? So the first thing we need to do here is we need to figure out how much commission is Iman making every time she sells a pair of shoes. And we've talked about commission before. We're going to look at what is 15% of $90. Every time she sells a pair of shoes, which costs $90, the company will give her 15% of that $90. Okay, so if you recall, how do we calculate percent of a number? Well, we need to turn this percent into a decimal. So we're going to do 15 divided by 100 because percent's always out of 100. So that turns it into 0.15, and we're going to multiply it by 90. When we calculate that, we get an answer of 13.5. Okay, so this means that she is making $13.50 commission every time she sells a pair of shoes. She is going to collect $13.15 on her paycheck. That's a lot of money. Now the question says, how many pairs of shoes would she need to sell in order to make $175? Well, she's getting $13.50 every time she sells a pair of shoes. So how many times does she have to sell shoes in order to get up to this $175? So how would we calculate that? Well, we're going to figure out how many times does $13.50 go into 175. So 175 divided by 13.5 equals 12.96, and in this case we can round our answer up to 13. So technically the answer is that she must sell 13 pairs of shoes, and we can check our answer to see if that's correct. Now for the purpose of the quiz on Brightspace, the question asks you to round your answer to 2 decimal places just so that it can be marked correctly. So you can leave this as your final answer, but in reality, the answer is approximately 13 pairs of shoes. We wouldn't sell part of a shoe. We would round the answer up to the nearest whole number. And let's check our answer to see if it makes sense. Okay, so how would we check this? Well, we just figured out that she needs to sell 13 pairs of shoes, okay? And we know that originally we calculated that she's making $13.50 commission. So every time she sells shoes, she's getting $13.50. So let's check. What is 13.5 times 13? If she's making $13.50 a shoe and she's selling 13 shoes, how much money will she end up making? And the answer is going to be $175.50 because I rounded this. And that makes sense because the question said, how many pairs of shoes would she need to sell in order to make $175? So she's reached her goal. I hope that helped.